Okay, everybody. This drama is a little bit outside of the box in regards to what I typically cover, but I feel like there are some political implications to all of this that I'll get into in a hot minute when it's relevant. But we're going to be watching a Mogul Mail video today. It's a YouTube channel hosted by Ludwig, popular streamer and YouTuber. Link in the description and pinned comment, of course, to the original video. Don't want to take away any attention from the original content by any means. But he did he did a video basically summarizing this entire drama, and I want to give my thoughts on it because I really do think there might be a little bit of political commentary I can give. That's basically the only spoiler I want to give you guys this early on. But for a little bit of background, at least of what I know, SniperWolf has been one of the most long-lasting hated YouTubers on the entire platform next to, like, Onision. Like, she's really up there. I remember back in, like, 2013 when she was getting exposed for her boyfriend being the one that records all of her gameplay, and the fact that she was, like, provably a fake gamer girl. Which, as much as I hate to say it, it's true. Like, people mathematically proved that she was faking playing video games on camera and faking and having her Overwatch character account boosted in order to make it look like she was actually a gamer, because she is a woman who has clearly put a lot of money into her looks with plastic surgery and makeup and what have you, and wants to fit that hot gamer girl, insanely hot gamer girl aesthetic, and people called her out for that back in the day. And she's basically gone through phases of different types of content she's been called out for on every single type. She did horrible skits for a while, I believe, and now she does reaction content, but the most bottom of the barrel, no effort put in, nothing to add to the conversation reaction content you can imagine. So my understanding is that Jax Films has now initiated a bit of a troll on her, where he's now reacting to all of her videos, I believe, on a separate channel, and her response was to go to his house. Yeah, just straight up went to his house. Let's watch the video.
1 a.m. And although normally I'd be in bed right now all cozy and snuggled up, I'm instead having to talk about one of the biggest no-nos I've ever seen on the YouTube platform. And to call it huge drama would be an underservice. It'd be a lie. It's more accurate to say a huge crime has been committed by one of YouTube's biggest creators. And that crime is doxing, which it's a real crime in the state of California. Look.
Wait, well, okay, doxing is not a crime. This is why I feel, when I watched this video, this is the first part where I was like, I feel I could bring some stuff to the conversation. So doxing is not a crime. While doxing may fall under the umbrella of cyber stalking, you need to meet very high standards just to get stalking dealt with, even in California, right? Like, for example, that crazy bitch that I criticized for the rape allegations she had, which seem pretty legit still, Sasha. She filed a restraining order against me to try to claim stalking in the state of California, but it didn't hold up. Because while she could get a temporary request, you have to actually defend it in court, something that would be impossible for such a, nothing case, and so she just didn't do it. But even if it's a legit case, it's oftentimes very much impossible to follow through on. And so probably not. I don't think that Jax Films could actually have a realistic case against her for stalking, unfortunately, unless this behavior continues. She indicates she wants to commit violence against him. Even then, it's spotty. There are a lot of content creators who have been outright stalked, as in, guys moving across the state into the house across the street from them and hiding in their bushes, stalking, Sweet Anita, and the cops do nothing. It is very hard to get stalking dealt with.
Look, cyber harassment statute, and it was committed by SniperWolf. Again, I think the top 100 maybe most subscribed to YouTuber on the platform. She doxed Jack Films, an OG YouTuber. He tweeted out about it, said, "Creepy, gross, violating. What you did was disgusting. This is wrong." And how did she dox him? Well, she dropped an Insta story and said, "Should I go visit at Jack Films? He lives 5 minutes away from my shoot." and did a fun little poll. Should I do a crime or not? And I guess her followers said, yes, do crime. And she did. She did. She posted in her Insta story his house. It's blurred out here because I'm not trying to add fuel to the fire, but that is literally a picture of his house with the caption.
Sadly, what she did here was 99% not a crime. Very fucked up, and could fall as evidence under a larger crime, but doxing is not a crime. It is just a component to other crimes. Doxing may fall... Okay, Elon's Twitter. Anyway... Yeah, Twitter moment. Yeah, SniperWolf's, like, literally an insane monster. Like, actually a demon. She has been grifting on YouTube and doing nothing but, like, piggybacking off of her own grifted success and the success of others for a very long time. And she is a complete leech. I honestly think you could call her the female Keemstar with how much of a cockroach she is on the platform. And she's just as morally bankrupt, too, in my opinion. I genuinely think that SniperWolf has been due for an Illuminati-style, like, fall of a content creator for a decade now. It is so long deserved.
Caption, let's talk like adults, which is something that should only exist in the confines of, like, a fucking horror movie. That's not a normal thing to do. That's weird. That's creepy, and that's illegal. That's doxing. And there's some backstory to why it happened in the first place, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, after doing the doxing, she kind of...
Sadly, CGP Grey is also a piece of shit, but not as much so as SniperWolf. CGP Grey, false copyright strikes anybody who reacts to his content, has paywalled all forms of commenting on any of his content, including his subreddit. You have to give him money to have any discussion on any forum that he runs about his content. And if you want to react to it, he will, no matter how transformative, he will strike it. Thankfully, the channel that he tried to get taken down with multiple false strikes, that was a actually transformative reaction channel. The history guy managed to get all those strikes overturned because they were false, but CGP Grey just kept sending in strikes to try to get his channel taken down as retaliation for trying to fight the strikes. CGP Grey is a real piece of shit.
Had this weird argument saying accusing me of doxing is defamation. I have no idea how to dox, which is crazy because that's like somebody who just, you know, snorted cocaine and said, I don't even know how to do it, officer. It's in your note. You already did it. You should know how to do it because he did it. He literally posted his address on Google and said I threatened him and doxed him. Obviously, that's not how Google works, right? You don't post shit on Google. Fuck, it's impossible.
Okay, accusing her of doxing is not defamation. Okay, something you guys need to know about, like, mainstream content creators is that when it comes to law and politics and all that shit, they are clueless. Like Ludwig doesn't know that doxing isn't a crime. SniperWolf thinks that saying someone doxed you is defamation. Like, these content creators are insanely wealthy, but their knowledge, they have internet smarts. There's book smarts, there's street smarts, and there's internet smarts. They've got internet smarts.
To even find shit on Google these days. Have you tried using it? Google's like back in the 1990s. That shit broke. Everybody's on ChatGPT, and I promise you,
Google is broken right now.
would not post their address on Google. If anything, they'd probably spent several hours, days, months, if not years, trying to remove addresses from Google. I would know this. And as somebody whose address has been doxed, all right, not by a famous YouTuber, by a random person, and then got swatted, it sucks. It's like the worst part of the job. It's not an exaggeration. It's probably the single worst part that has made me consider not doing the job because it is so bad of a part. Anyway, that was her argument. It wasn't doxing. But for whatever reason, Jack brought up a good point. If it's not doxing, why'd you delete it? Which she did do. I looked at her Insta story. She deleted that in almost every other post about it. But we have to now get to why are we here?
Well, because she's trying to say that she's trying to pretend like she never did it now. That's why she's saying accusing me of doxing is defamation, because now she's pretending she never posted that. That's why she deleted it. And now she's going to claim you're defaming her by saying she did the things she did and has now deleted.
Why the fuck did she do that? It was a crazy thing to do. Why Jax Films, another OG YouTuber? And for some backstory, if you don't know, SniperWolf is a huge YouTuber. Again, 34.2 million subscribers, 24 billion with a B billion channel views, and the main content that she uploads is react content. You might have seen one of these thumbnails before. If you go to like any Airbnb and they have a YouTube channel that's not logged into, her videos likely recommended.
Fucking true. Exactly that. Every time I log in on an unused account on like a fucking Roku stick or something, you see one of her goddamn videos, and it'll try to autoplay too, and you gotta stop it or it'll play nothing but that. Her videos always have her in the thumbnail in a kind of horny looking like face, right? Like, you can't tell me this face and this face aren't supposed to be kind of horny looking, right? Like, there's a little bit of sexualization clickbait there, and there's not even cleavage. It's actually kind of impressive.
At least that's my...
Oh yeah, and YouTube as a company loves her, by the way. Like, YouTube knows she's exist. She has been in YouTube Rewinds multiple times, I believe. Like, YouTube endorses her. They see her as like a girl boss. Like, here's an example of a famous like woman YouTuber. I like how he spelled it. SNIPPERWOLF. That's how I type. Like, YouTube like parades her around as like an example of female success in the platform. It's really disgusting. It's one of the big reasons why I want to cover this, is because this is not feminism. A woman being successful and girl bossing is not feminism. Feminism is not when women succeed, or when good thing happen for woman, or when woman gets her bag. Feminism is a political theory based around the concept of egalitarianism. The idea that we should try to create a society with as much equity as possible so that we can have as much of a merit-based view of the world as we can, and it actually be realistic, unlike now, where people try to say we live in a meritocracy, but we very much don't. There are a lot of factors that make that not the case.
By experience. And that's the kind of the gist, you know,
Jaden Animations exists, YouTube? Yeah, but you guys have to remember, YouTube hates and does not give a fuck about their animation YouTubers. In fact, they recently rolled out the Just for Kids stamp, which can be put on content against content creators' will. And if YouTube decides to scan a video and says, ooh, animation? We think this is just for kids. So they'll put that stamp on there. It can't be monetized. It gets heavily, de-boosted in the algorithm. And it happened a lot to the Fiona and Cake advertising stuff. A lot of YouTubers who made content about Fiona and Cake, and the trailers for it got falsely marked as for kids by YouTube. And it made it unmonetizable, and it also massively deboosted it in the algorithm. Does YouTube just not let you label not for kids? That fucking sucks. If YouTube decides it's for kids, then it gets put in for kids. And if it ends up not being for kids, you can be charged with a crime.
8 to 10 minute reaction video of like,
sued.
ooh, TikToks that make me feel cozy, or that unlock a new fear, or that feel illegal to watch, whatever. And these reactions have been labeled by people like Jax Films and others as more of just total lifts, thefts, larceny, stealing. All right, just a re-upload of other people.
If you watch the average SniperWolf reaction, it's pretty much just her saying, whoa, what? No way. Oh my god, guys. There's no substance there. She's not providing anything. How can she? The stuff she chooses to react to is not conversation-based. There's no narrative. There's no argument to be had. There's no discussion to be made. Her videos are just definitionally content theft. I react to a lot of content. I'm reacting to content right now, but I take pride in the fact that I have so much to say about any content that I choose to react to that I will multiply the watch length several times over with my commentary. And it's not empty commentary, too. At least I don't feel like it's empty commentary, and, you know, personally. But hell, we're 15 minutes into this recording right now and 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this video. SniperWolf just shotguns a bunch of reactions of TikToks where she goes, ooh, ah, and then it ends, and she rakes in a ton of money.
People's actual content as opposed to a transformative react, right? And here's just like a clip of her.
She prefers older guys, so you gotta wait until you're older than her. What was
Okay, pretty sure they meant to edit her to be centered there, but you get the idea, right? Yeah, generally not one.
Because of how, like, high volume her uploads are, there are tons of mistakes in the edits. So she'll just not be on screen a ton of the time because her editors are, like, worked to the bone trying to pump out content, like, probably 5 videos a day. So, like, it's not her editing. You know it's not her editing. It's not even her gaming in her old gaming videos. She's paying someone to do it.
One of the more morally correct YouTubers in the space in terms of how she gets her content. And Jax Films has been interested in that, all right? And specifically trying to stop that. And if you don't know Jax Films, super OG YouTuber, known for a lot of parodies, known for Yai, which was stolen by PewDiePie and became Lawai. That guy, that's Jax Films.
Jax Films is pretty top tier. We like Jax Films here. I've enjoyed his content for a very long time. He makes good stuff. I respect him. He usually has, like, really good takes. I've yet to see him miss on an issue. He gets 2 thumbs up from me. 2. Not 1, but 2.
And he made a video almost a year ago to the day, October 26, 2022, about SniperWolf. And in the video, he said, I saw this article about how SniperWolf spent millions on a mansion. He didn't post her address or a picture of it because, that, you know, he's got a little more awareness than her. And then followed up by saying, oh.
Done is I've created a brand new YouTube channel called Jax Films. And so far, I've only uploaded 1 video.
He's basically going to react to her reactions as a form of parody, a la Bo Burnham Inside type vibe. And that was the idea. And he did it for like a little bit. You can see here, it was these reactions. He used the same thumbnail. They got like
this
more
is like a year
more
ago.
surreal. Like he reacted to
part.
the Mario trailer with like 5 different versions of him. It was very much in an attempt at parody, at making fun of reactors, as opposed to any genuine effort at reacting. And then he kind of stopped doing it. You can see for 5 months. It didn't, I don't know, pique his interest. It didn't work out, whatever. And it would have probably or possibly died out there, I think, until SniperWolf tweeted. And that's what brought us, in a way, to where we are today. We have Stan Loves You for real to thank, because he replied to SniperWolf and said, you steal ideas.
Dude.
Referring to...
I am so thrilled that Adventure Time is back in the cultural zeitgeist right now in the way that it is because of Fiona and Cake. We need more Adventure Time, guys. We've been eating good for those 5 weeks, okay? We ate so goddamn good. We need more. We need seconds. We need thirds. We need more of that shit, okay?
Her videos, her reacts. And she said 90% of what I upload are my ideas. People copy me, and then people like you get confused. And she's saying that Mr. Beast
That's
stole
delusional.
her idea of reacting to random acts of kindness.
There is no way that Mr. Beast was inspired by SniperWolf, but I imagine that that Mr. Beast's editors were inspired by SniperWolf's thumbnail here, for sure. You can tell by the timestamp. But that's just Mr. Beast's thumbnail editors. That he has like 50 people that work for him. Very desperate reach, my friend.
Now, I would argue, and I think many other people would argue, that they both stole. Just because she had the idea to find a compilation that were similar to random acts of kindness and have a producer get videos that are a random act of kindness doesn't necessarily mean, just because Mr. Beast thought that was a good idea too, that what she's doing is not stealing. Because I don't think she's paying the creators. I don't think she's getting permission from the creators to react to them. And by the way, worth saying at this point, I've done plenty of similar reactions to what SniperWolf does. I think I would argue that. You know, people could say, oh, you paused more, you added more stories, and they'll always defend the person that they like. But I've done it.
I think that if it's on stream and it's just a stream, you're not going to like clip it and upload it on YouTube as a video and try to like farm views off of it. I think you can react to like anything however you want. But if it's going to be made into a video, although I do think you should give credit, and you should give credit. But if you're going to make a video and you're going to post the reaction on a separate platform clipped for the sake of bringing in more audience. It needs to be transformative. It needs to offer something to the conversation. It needs to have some external value beyond what the original video brought to the table beforehand.
Fair and simple. I've done You Laugh, You Lose with Slime very recently, even. And so I am no holier a saint than her. However, I think because she is such a big YouTuber and it is like 90% of what she does, she has basically been the target of a campaign from Jax Films and others to shame her out of doing it. Because that is basically the only tool that we have, or anyone has, to stop React YouTubers, is to shame them out of doing it. Because you don't have any tools within YouTube to like claim the monetization.
YouTube doesn't
care. All you
care.
can do is try to take their video down, which can be a bit too aggro of an option.
No, you can. If you're the content creator whose content has been stolen, you can use video ID to claim it. And claim. There are 3 options you have whenever you use YouTube ID to claim a video. So YouTube notifies you anytime any bit of your video has been used in another person's video. Like, I'm a YouTuber, I can tell you the behind the scenes of how it works. I get little pings every time someone shows any of my video on their stream, clips a bit of my video for their video, anything like that. Plays my theme song, because it's like on my YouTube channel. I've got it hosted there too, so people play my theme song on their stream. Like, I get a notification too. And I get 4 options. Option 1 is leave it alone, which is what I always do. I just don't do anything about it. Option 2 is claim it, where you can claim the revenue made for the percentage of the video that was your video. So let's say 10% of the original video, or of the video you're claiming was your video playing, you would get 10% of that video's revenue. Number 2 is you can issue a copyright takedown, which just, basically auto takes down the video and they have to fight against it legally in court to get it taken back unless you decide to put it back up again. Or you can do a strike takedown where not only do you try to get the video, you get the video taken down, but you get a strike issued to the channel that uploaded your video, and if they get 3 or 4 of those, their channel's gone forever. It gets deleted forever. People do this falsely all the time. False copyright striking on YouTube is extremely powerful. It's OP as f***. So I don't know why he is saying that this is the only way that this works, is shaming, because there absolutely are methods through YouTube through which you can take down SniperWolf, and it's copyright striking her. It's people who have had their content stolen by her issuing copyright strike takedowns through the YouTube backend. It's not that hard. It takes 2 minutes.
And so that worth just noting that. Just a little disclaimer. Back to it. She makes that tweet. She says, people copy me. Jax Films catches wind of this and says, I invented reacting to other people's TikToks. Anyone else is copying me. Incredible mental gymnastics. And then tags YouTube and VidCon. I think trying to get her removed from being boosted at those events. And then SniperWolf says, wow, I can't stand that a female YouTuber is getting more views than me, even though I don't make this.
She is very quick to pull the girl boss card. She is basically YouTube's feminist, woman, successful YouTuber idol. But she is also a narcissistic, manipulative, awful bitch. The problem is, if you look in the replies, it's all e-girls that are clapping her along, like this Waffy lady. I read all his tweets. Bro has the boomer humor, and then I guess a monkey emoji. We are dealing with the depths of toxic femininity here. You can tell from the profile picture here, this girl's a Belle Delphine clone. By the way, Belle Delphine got caught using filters to make herself look like underage on her face. She got caught using phone and video filters to make her face look like that of an underage girl, to de-age herself. So, yeah, pretty cringe, pretty cringe. I don't have a lot of respect for the Belle Delphine clones, the ones who desperately try to do the Belle Delphine shtick, and you can tell from the profile picture that's what's happening here.
Even though I make the same content, life is hard. And then doubles down and says, also, I hate bringing...
This is going to be my most Squad W segment, guys, because there's a lot of awful women here for us to dunk on. The incels will have a really good on-ramp into my content with this video.
Gender into this, but no one ever attacks the male React channels. And I have to say, I think This is what led.
I love her just, like, for the sake of defending herself with her narcissistic little meltdown, she basically throws all women and all women content creators under the bus, giving, like, the perfect example for anti-feminist MRA red pill types to point to as an example of women content creators just being in the space to grift money off of men desperate for hot women to watch. Like really shitty of her to do that and to try to use feminism as her shield.
Led us to where we are today, because this spurred something within Jack's Films to take that little comment and make it a huge chip on his shoulder to get the best dish that everybody loves getting, revenge. And to Jack's credit, by the way, he's been doing this for the better part of a decade. And by this, I mean like literally trying to shame React channels out of existence. It started 7 years ago with this channel called Jinx. This is how I found out about him. Basically,
dude, Jinx was the original plague of YouTube. His whole thing was about 5 uploads a day of just him sitting there and nodding. Pretty much in complete silence, along to whatever was the most viewed video on the trending page. Top 5 videos in the trending page that day, he'd throw on his camera, watch them and nod, upload it on YouTube, title it the exact title of the original video, Reaction. The SEO was off the charts. It was just unedited, of course. No actual commentary, maybe like an oh my god or a whoa or an okay as like commentary, and that was it. Really bottom of the barrel scum-sucking bottom feeder content. He literally got shamed off of the internet, and it was one of the few instances where mob justice on the internet was actually able to succeed without any like overreach by YouTube or any like institutional powers to get the job done.
Jinx reacted to one of Jack Films' videos in its entirety. Then Jack reacted to Jinx's reaction of Jack's video, basically doing nothing but smiling, and then at the end flaming him.
Last video, man, that was just hella tight. I really like the part where you played my video in its entirety and then didn't really react to it, just kind of sat there. I also like the part.
This became super viral back in the day, and Jinx deleted his YouTube channel. I tried to find it. It's gone. He basically got shamed off the platform for what he was doing, for his low effort reacts. And after those tweets,
mob
he
justice
dropped
worked.
a video, actually a couple videos, talking about SniperWolf and basically distilling why he thinks this is worth doing, what SniperWolf is doing that he considers to be wrong, and the steps that he's going to take to shame her out of it. And the step was to reboot the channel Jack's Films. But this time, grading her reactions rather than doing like surreal attempts at parodying her reactions.
You see this big guy? He be eating all of the little guys.
That is the level of IQ she has when doing her commentary. You see that big guy? He's gonna eat all the little guys. I'm gonna be honest, she does not give women a good name. Okay? I'm sorry. She is making all women look bad. Women gotta do something about her. Yeah, didn't she used to go by Sexy Sniper, too? Like, she used to be, like a COD YouTuber who would, like, thirst post for, like, 13-year-olds way back in the day. And she went by Sexy Sniper. And then she denies that was ever the case, but people, like, know that. Her boyfriend made her change it. Can I show you guys what her and her boyfriend look like? This is something I'll never understand. I don't want to hear none of you say you can't pull a bad bitch. I don't want to hear any of you say you can't pull a bad bitch. You're just not trying hard enough.
And that's basically the idea. You know, I would argue it's a transformative idea of trying to grade, shame, and even fair play, harass her out of doing what she is doing. And he would stream that, and then he would upload it onto the channel, and the channel started popping off. You can see right here. He started this about 2 months ago, and the views are doing very well because he discovered a new format called SniperWolf Bingo that kind of popped off. He would do these like a few times a week.
That's getting a lot of views.
Videos. He would stream them, get a few thousand, I think, live, get hundreds of thousands on the VODs. And that, I think, led to SniperWolf not really enjoying the spot she was in. Here's an example.
Standing at the side of the road and they go like this
That's correct.
because they want the truck driver to honk the horn.
Jesus fucking Christ! You know what? I kind of wish you were silent for this one, SniperWolf. Maybe you were onto something there by not saying anything. Let's go to... Oh, I have it! Yay! Summarizing.
I love the bingo card.
And that's the idea, right? And at this point, it is worth mentioning.
Does the bingo card get filled with at least a connect in every video? Please tell me he gets a connection in every single video. Often, but not always. Yes, always? Like always. So not always. Not every single one. It would have been funny if it was every single one. Multiple in some videos? That's good.
That there is probably
It happens
a very
very
real
often.
leg that SniperWolf can stand on, saying that this is harassment. Yes, maybe what I am doing is shameless, but it is up to YouTube to absolve that issue, resolve that issue. You can take me down, but this react in re-upload thing that you're upset about exists across the platform. I'm taking advantage of a tool that maybe is a loophole that YouTube should close, but hasn't, and it is how I earn my livelihood. I am shameless, blah. And you are harassing me, and your followers are harassing me to shame me out of doing it, and it is making my life worse. She could have probably made that argument. I'm not saying
She can't. She wouldn't be able to. What he's doing is very clear parody as well. So it's just, not only that, but under copyright law, he falls under fair use. So he's completely covered. Jax Films has all his bases covered legally. YouTubers and streamers, not really the most knowledgeable about laws and policy like this, but I am pretty certain that Jax Films' bases are covered. He's not broken any laws. Anyone can sue anyone else for anything they want, but what ground she has to stand on when it actually gets in front of a judge, very little to nothing. It's very likely it would get thrown out the second it gets seen by the judge. It's not uncommon for cases that are just nothing cases with nothing to stand on.
it would have been successful, but she certainly had a leg to stand for, especially with how many videos Jax Films was making about her. It's a fuck ton. It's like literally multiple times a week. Look, this is all about SniperWolf. But she lost all of that the moment she doxed him. Just threw it right out the window. Any semblance of an argument, any slight credit that a human could have given her is lost when she does a larger, ultimate evil crime in danger.
The court of public opinion on the internet and the actual courts are not the same thing, Ludwig. I love you, buddy, but doxing is not a crime unless in service to stalking or another crime. It can be used as evidence of a crime, but it itself is not a crime, I assure you. It should be. I agree, it should be, but it is not.
Endangers him in that way. And she tried to make that argument after the doxing fact right here.
This guy's entire channel is just me. Every single video for the past few months has been about me. And it's just like shitting on me. And then his streams. This dude is just like low-key harassing me. Like, should I get a restraining order?
Which doesn't make sense as a sentence when you're the one who drove to his house creepily and then took a picture of it.
She can still do it, though.
Should have the restraining.
She can still get a temporary restraining order. It happened to me. They're in California. She can get a like a 30-day thing. It'll get put in front of the judge and thrown out right away, especially if she doesn't show up, which she shouldn't if she's smart, if she goes down that path, but she technically could. Like, all it takes is filling out some paperwork. You don't need any evidence to file a 30-day, like, temporary restraining order.
Restraining order, as opposed to get the restraining order based off of what has happened. I don't think he's tried to show up to your house. And in this, she says, don't you have a wife? Yes. In fact, his wife did tweet out, hey, dear YouTube, I'm not a creator, but my husband is, and tonight SniperWolf came to my house and posted it on Instagram for all to see and tried to instigate a confrontation. I now have to worry about she as one of your favorite creators, and maybe many of her fans, that might harm me or my family. I am a regular human who works an 8 to 5, geez, corporate job that happened to fall in love with a YouTuber. She might claim that she's coming after a bully, but she's actually stalking and doxing normal people with no power, which is true and a great point, and why doxing shouldn't exist in the first place. And if you're wondering, by the way, what are the rules for YouTube on doxing? Somebody tried to ask.
It is against YouTube's
rules. Hey, what's your
rules.
policy on doxing? We don't allow harmful behavior like threats in doxing. This resource has more info.
YouTube has never applied their rules equally. You have to create the biggest shitstorm of shitstorms of shitstorms, and it has to be off-platform. You have to get mainstream media outlets' attention. You have to get, like, journalists writing articles on known sites about how, with titles and headlines like YouTube platforming and monetizing content theft veteran or something like that, or serial content thief and doxer or something along those lines. There needs to be a massive unanimous media push to destroy her reputation and YouTube's reputation for their association with her, and then they will take action. YouTube needs to be losing money, and then they'll take action. Besides that, they don't give a fuck about their own rules. Hey, Cherry.
And then followed up and said, you don't allow it, then could you fix this, please? And to the social media manager here, who's copy and pasting all the rules, Godspeed, your night is going to be tough. And to wrap it up, this is Jack Film's argument for that leg that I was talking about earlier that is chopped off of hey, this is harassment from Jack's Films, is what he said.
Okay, I want to address something. Every once in a while, because I see that, like, this guy's obsessed with SniperWolf. Like, why is it like, dude, this guy's really milking this whole SniperWolf thing, you know, this whole SniperWolf feud. This is why I'm so passionate about streaming this and making videos about it. We're not talking about shit she did years ago. We're talking about shit she did last week or yesterday or today. This is still what she does commonly, frequently, repeatedly. That's why I still do this.
It's who she is.
Because it's so egregious. And no one's policing this at all. And why?
That's right. I mean, he is right about it. Nobody is policing it.
She's on the trending page constantly. She is literally the first channel recommended in that first, like, block of channels you'll see on your screen when you boot up a fresh YouTube account or unlogged in account on, like, a Roku stick in an Airbnb. He's completely right about that. It's happened to me numerous times. That YouTube is frontlining her. She is propped up by YouTube.
Should probably be YouTube's responsibility to maybe give creators the tools to take money. I've said this many times before. YouTube, listen to my fucking ideas. They're good.
Well,
give
they
creators,
do.
I mean,
that exists. That exists. She needs to be glassed off the platform. That's not that solution that he's suggesting right now. I know he's newer to YouTube and he's like from Twitch to YouTube with a contract sign, but like if you go to your back end on YouTube, that exists. Like, here, let me see if I can bring it up without showing any info that YouTube doesn't let you show or something. So yeah, I've got a bunch of videos here that are matches to videos that I've uploaded. Many of them are stuff that, like, I've reacted to, so when other people show the reaction, then it just, like, it gets a notification thing. But here we've got one that's a reaction to my video. And if I click it, I've got a few options. I can either do a removal request, I can message them, I can claim the revenue for that section of the video, although that would be 100% of the video. I'm not going to do that. Or I can issue a strike takedown. I've got 4 options. They're just right there. You just click on it, and you've got those options.
Hello?
And there's the video itself. Yeah, it's 40. It appears from 00 to 49.33. So, I could literally claim that entire video and all its revenue if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna because I'm not an asshole. But you know, that's not the solution here. The solution he's suggesting here already exists. It literally already exists. You have access to do claims. I don't have access to that on my channel. Really? You just file a claim. There are 4 options. You can either issue a takedown request, issue a takedown and strike request, issue a content revenue claim, or do nothing. You can also message them. I can only message takedowns or archive. You have to like click on it and go through the takedowns option. The claiming menu is like kind of complicated because it's a whole like thing where you have to pick how much you want to claim. I recommend Googling it, but it exists. It's something that exists. I've seen videos of mine get claimed for copyright and like partial revenue getting claimed. Happens all the time. I'm fine with it because if I reacted to someone's content, then, I mean, sure, they can have the money from the video if, like, however much of the video was showing their content. I don't mind.
Verified creators, at the very least, the tool to claim monetization on videos that have been re-uploaded.
Might be partner
whether
only.
it is a bad reaction from a streamer or a bad reaction of multiple videos from a YouTuber, they should have that tool. It would be very helpful. And then they wouldn't have to feel like their only tool is complain on Twitter until maybe the creator's shamed out of doing it or tried to delete their whole channel, which can be a much bigger shitstorm that you're getting into that you might not want to. Anyway,
I hate this. I hate how afraid of going to the nuclear option YouTubers and streamers are. Some people deserve to get glassed off of these platforms. I know it's so scary for us to talk about that, so scary to set the precedent or whatever, but people like Onision, people like EDP, people like SniperWolf, these are people who use their platforms to hurt people. They use their continued platform's existence to hurt people every day. And they will not stop as long as they have a platform. Sometimes the nuclear option is the only actual real option. And it's really frustrating how scared of going that far people are. Like, don't go after sponsors, you're setting a precedent. Don't ban people, that's a precedent. Like, some people deserve to go that far. If Onision had sponsors, I think he deserved to lose his sponsors and have them, like, have emails about the kind of shit he's done and for them to make the decision as to whether or not they want to work with him. I like that people contact, like, the work of awful people like EDP so that he can't get jobs because he's going to use the money he has to try to find children and groom them. I think that's fine. I think that's good. I think sometimes the nuclear option is justified if it is clear that if they have that platform again, they are just going to recommit over and over and over again and hurt people. So that's my take.